That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it?
It's really been well looked after, though.
That old thing? Pah! Not much better than rags, really. Oh? Or that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. Well, I'm not one for dwelling in the past. I'll get a leave throwing it out. But, you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't hurt to have the old piece of memorability lying around, doesn't it?
Oh, I see.
Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. What about the sword right over there? It's not put correctly there for some reason. In fact, you really should be cleaning this place like better, you know. Yeah, there are some stuff right over here that are not really organized.
That looks like a medal honor. It's showcased on a very grand banner.
Yeah, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it does bother me that it's not straight. Huh? That whole thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it. But the general would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall is the best place for it. Keeps the belly thing out of my way. So it's just being polished to shine by accident, I suppose.
There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, "For distinguished participation."
Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet. But I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. Yeah, surely must have quite some history. There is something on the ground.
Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely.
Well, it surely looks clean. Certainly doesn't have like any holes in it. Yes, it seems like somebody's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind, I wonder? Let's see what's behind curtain number 1.
I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek.
Maybe let's not, Miss Sato.
At least for right now.
I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Okay then. Good day to you. John Garideb, at your service. There's also something on the right that I'm gonna have to investigate as well.
Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryonosuke Naruhodo. He's the defense lawyer.
And I am Noby Grant, detective assistant for the defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maid, don't you know? Was thinking of something there, but I'm not gonna say it. Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from services. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he is a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. It's quite a climb up here to the 2nd floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. What the fuck are you talking about, Ryonosuke? You're still young. The fuck is wrong with you? You should train your body as well.
You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think so?
Well, Mr. Garideb, not that you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal.
Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. Well, I wouldn't like to offend the general, though. So I gradually displayed it on a wall. Why did you fetch it down, John? Let these good people see it properly. John? Fetch that! Dash it, old woman! Be careful!
Oh, dearie me. I do beg your pardon, sir.
He jolly nearly took the skin off my hands.
I should be more careful, sir.
So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yeah, I see. You're probably having like difficult times, like walking around. Like, this probably happens like a lot. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs. Is that right? Like having a maid like her, who probably does that like multiple times, like every single week. That's probably worse than war itself, am I right, Garideb?
Yes. We'd be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us.
Only two, please, naturally. Especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blightly. With a fortunate alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you were aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detective poking around, you know, in his old house. What do you believe?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Shanks.
Could have been. I didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea. All the detective business. Well, I mean, you are reading the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You had a book there, as well. Like, you had the Rand's magazine, so... Didn't, like, rise, like, any curiosity about, didn't rise, like, any interest when it comes to that name, when you heard it?
Oh, but you have a copy of Rand's magazine here, so...
Yeah, exactly, like what the Susato is bringing up here. She is asking the same. Huh? No.
Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak.
So he's in Sosaki-san's room. Ooh, baby. It's a belly nuisance, is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Okay then. Before we continue with this, let's see about some stuff around. Oh my goodness, what is this place? What is with all that broken stuff you have there?
Oh look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand. I'm hungry.
Lined up? It's more like someone has half demolished them to me. Yeah, even the cakes are demolished there. Jesus.
Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way.
Yeah. Like the 11 Z's.
It is Mr. Gary Deb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful.
Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand.
But, naturally. And it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garrett doesn't eat, I say to myself, John, you should have to tidy up.
How magnanimous of you. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it?
Oh my. A gentleman London dresser. Isn't it delightful?
Although the shell seems to be broken. And the crockery is... Oh my god, it's in pieces! Jesus. They seem to be in much worse state than the sacred urn of the Faith family. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that Chinaware justice.
Huh. I wonder... Perhaps the cannon was fired at it.
Susato, I think that a cannon would do a lot more damage than that. Just saying. And I experienced it too myself, like a while ago. Don't ask about it. Yeah, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. You have a wonderful view from here, Mr. Garrideb.
This window looks out over Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked.
Yeah, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene.
The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You cannot see very clearly.
Does this thing open at all, I wonder?
I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir.
Sorry?
As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you.
It is a good point, although it seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. I don't know about that. Is there something else around here? Oh, okay. So that thing on the, on the floor, it has a candle.
The small candle holder looks a little out of place here, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you're right. It's really supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. Oh, that old thing, yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Gimcrackery. Oh. He used it when I was studying, don't you know? For my commission. I know it's old. Hardly worth hanging on to, really. But, well, still has its uses sometimes.
Of course.
Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it? Yeah.
Your memories, Miss Naruto. Memories.
Yeah, you know, this place definitely is... You could definitely clean this place a little bit more, organize some stuff. I don't know, something about the candle makes it even more weird than the rest of the stuff for some unknown reason. I don't know why. The floor right over here is... It seemed burnt and all that. I mean, I guess it could have been an accident. We can already take a peek behind this. Yet, something happened right over here with the candle. I guess we have to go back to examining him first. We cannot, there you go, okay. For some reason we had to examine him first, and then we can continue with this. Okay, well, can you tell us some stuff about Natsume? What do you think about him?
About Miss Natsume then, Mr. Garrideb. Please, do tell us.
Yes, the Japanese chap. I've been lodging here for a week. For a week? Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodgers most of the time. One on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. Dash it all, Joan! Do be careful!
Oh, my goodness. I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh, why? He seemed to have most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, John, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything.
We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. You're joking about that, Milonosuke, but...
Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yeah, indeed there was.
And she's dying to tell us. What is it that you can tell us? Hey, did you notice anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume?
Oh my word, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day, and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too.
Oh, I see. Like today's equivalent of hikikomori, I guess.
The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Could he clarify something, I wonder? What, pray?
Yeah, I feel like there is something interesting about that. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. Well, it was definitely 5 in the evening when the incident happened.
How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine?
Is it because you look out the window like a lot during the day?
Oh! I'd understood that neither of the lodgers live on the floor of the house. Is that correct?
That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor and street level.
Then how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed.
Good grief, Joan! Be more careful, woman!
Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Something doesn't add up here. They're being very suspicious about it. Let's talk about this. Since that incident took place at around 5 in the evening, did you happen to look out the window around that time? The window?
Yeah, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby?
5 o'clock is dinner time in the Gary Deb household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, John?
No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at the hour. And with the fog as well, I sure think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then?
Such as?
Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated.
Well, yes. Was there something then? Oh, it's nothing particularly significant. But around the side... For the love of God, Joan! Watch what you're doing!
Dear me, what have I done? I'm very sorry, sir.
Do be more careful, woman!
Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, yes?
I have an exceedingly good memory. And as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all.
Really? Mr. Gary Deb? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. John, dash it all! What is the matter with you, woman?
Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened.
Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Joe?
That's right, Mr. Gardeb.
You guys are suspicious as fuck.
It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. But what?
I wish I knew. And I feel like that is something that we're definitely gonna have to question. What happened here at 5 in the evening? Something tells me that it has something to do with that candle on the floor. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe they are not actually hiding something in regards to Nutsman themselves. Like, in order for them to notice like anything like out the window, including the events that took place on the pavement, they would have to be like right here near the window. Which would mean that they would be like in this position whatsoever. If we were to find out like that they were in this position at that time, then some other secret would be revealed. That doesn't necessarily have to do with the case, but it has something to do with them specifically that would put them in danger. That's one possibility, and again, thinking about this right over here. But that is something that I have to think about a little bit. About Mr. Nuts' room. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Nuts' room is on? Why, certainly. Just below us on the first floor.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak?
Yes. Told me Nuts, his name, has asked him to look into the matter. So I gave him the key.
Mr. Nutsman has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services?
Well, that's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if you also had a look around? In Mr. Nuts' room, I mean. I don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that would help us with the case. But we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on. Shall we?
Yes. And while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
Indeed. Alrighty then. We are gonna come back right over here. But until then though, let's see about Nuts' room right over here. Makes me... Hey. There's the cat. There's the narrator of Natsume's life. Look at that cute little cat. What? Just look at this place. Smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that.
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life.
Nah, me neither. It's all dark in here too. Is that the window over there? Yeah, it's all bricked up.
Oh.
It was the window, I think. Yeah. Once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Nathan lives. No oxygen here whatsoever. Ugh.
By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere. Have you?
He's probably hiding, like, under the book somewhere. He's gonna try and spook us, like, booga booga booga. Nah, that's true. But according to what Mr. Gardeb told us, the right detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Sholmes? Sholmesy! Hey, look at this.
Look, it's a beckoning cat from home.
It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him.
I hardly think you're in position to comment, Miss Naruto. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma, though, that you bought in your luggage?
Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm, so what?
I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same. And this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him.
He's not doing a very good job so far, is it?
You mustn't say such things.
Oh, I didn't say a word. Again, you have to train your mind so that she doesn't read your mind, Ryunosuke. Or at the very least, control your thoughts. You have to be careful about that. Why am I such a giveaway? Well, the eyes are portals to one person's soul, as they say. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reached the ceiling.
They're all works of English literature. And they all smell so musty.
With this volume of books to hand, you'd be short of reading material, would you?
No, siree. What a dreamy idea.
A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again.
So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime. Just as the tea ceremony that teaches us. Just as the tea ceremony teaches us.
I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Can we look around a little bit more? Man. It's like we're entering a cave of books to the right over here. Candle. This is where he was writing.
The dust seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side.
I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes. Surely he dreamt of books every night as well.
Yeah, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books.
Okay then. Yeah. Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look. And the date of purchase. 2 days ago. At 4:45 p.m. This is definitely going to be important. 2 days ago. That's the day of the incident. Okay, so he purchased the book at 4:45.
That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack.
Certainly makes me question how long it takes for, like, between the lodgings and the library. It doesn't say right over here. We don't have a map of the bookstore.
He must have been on his way back from buying some more books.
A receipt discovered in Mr. Natsume's room for some books that he had purchased from a second-hand bookshop before the incident occurred. Okay, then. Oh, there he is. Like, he materialized, like, right in front of us, right over there. But before that, hey there, little cat. Oh, ain't you just adorable?
Oh my, what a adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away.
Such a good cat. I don't know about that. He anticipated that a pile of books as quick as a flash. He was a tricolor Mike? Mike? A tricolor Mike. Mike, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain?
Perhaps Mr. Natsu brought the little creature with him from Japan.
Yeah, that's made me feel homesick now.
Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days.
Excuse me, what about the trip that took us like an entire month to get here? Like, that surely would make you feel homesick. Could you even call this a window?
I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now.
So really it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anyone deliberately break it up like that?
I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted a brick design on it in a fit of whimsy.
Well, still, that's quite crazy. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation here makes the place very oppressive.
Yeah, it does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying.
I mean, I know the candles too. I mean, that consumes oxygen as well. Okay. Hey there, Sholmes. Comfortable reading books?
Ah, look, Miss Narada.
Ah, there he is. Where did he appear from?
Yeah, he seems to be engrossed in the pages of a notebook. I hope you won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, you two. Good day. Good day to you, Sholmes. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We're together on this Beauty.
Yes, of course. The Beautia. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Asogi. He died, tragically. But you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course. The case of Mr. Asogi. He was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Close enough. He was with the cat.
Oh,
Oh. You seem to remember something of it, at least.
what an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr.
Oh, no, my dear madame. Hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Mr. Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Close enough. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. Ah! I lose the first round. Okay then, Mr. Sholmes. So, what's the shtick? In truth, I'd hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street, so the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station, and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So, the apprehended Soseki-san in that short an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow on the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I mean, he does have to do his ads, you know, to do his own commercials, to publicize his works and such. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. Yeah, we met her. She is quite a hoot as well, Mr. Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned.
Goodness. What an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should be only too pleased. And this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Alrighty then. Well then. Can you tell us about Natsume's arrest? We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. Isn't the assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes? For the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Brower Road. Natsume. Yeah, I believe it was a name rather along those lines.
But Mr. Natsume denies it. Is it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Miss Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean.
What?
Can't believe he was looking Sato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance.
I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension.
Oh? How's that?
I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your astute compatriot of the crime.
But that doesn't make sense.
The detective Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene.
A man seen fleeing.
There were a number of books scattered on the pavement of the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. While speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? Quite elementary indeed. I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question.
Yeah, we got it ourselves. Actually, let me see about something. Your books, 17 February, 4:45 p.m. Customer Mr. Natsume, the sum of 2 shillings, tendered a receipt. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal of Gaborieux, and Canterbury yearnings. 2 shillings, eh?
So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit, then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties. Hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of most fascinating books. I found myself quite lost in bibliophily. Bibliophily. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No. Oh dear.
Alright. Can you tell us something about the landlord? Garibeb.
Oh, tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings?
Yeah, Mr. Garibeb. Retired military man.
It was the first time I ever met a soldier from the Great British institution, that is, the services.
And it was the first time I ever met a maid from the Great British institution, that is, service.
Ah!
I didn't think it was that funny. I think it was.
I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
Oh, not from the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, eh? Because she always brings that up lately.
And so conversely, whether another household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein.
Betoken their social standing? Sorry?
Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that.
Yeah, I guess so.
In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance.
Ah, so it's not necessarily the hat, eh?
I have no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in this situation upstairs. Specifically, in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Garrideb.
Oh?
Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Like, he's definitely hiding something. But I am questioning whether it is about Natsume or something about himself that would him in danger. I did say that before. I am fairly lost on what he means to say.
And this room is totally suffocating for the soul.
my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Okay, bro.
Mr. Nutsmith has stabbed no one.
Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. Neither sooner nor later. Nutsmith did not stab anyone, as far as we know yet.
I don't believe that's the issue here.
About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window. Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts right over there. Did you see it? Did you not see that? But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple, my dear Ryonosuke. Window tax. Are you fucking with me?
Surely not a tax on windows.
Precisely that.
Oh my goodness!
Well, next thing you know, we're gonna learn that they have to pay taxes for the doors, for the walls, for the wooden floor. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. Are you kidding me? Like, usually when apartments cost go up depending on how huge it is, yeah. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if you get rid of windows, you're gonna get that cost lowered. In fact, it would actually cost even higher if you were to do stuff like that. While the rich open windows here, they're everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money.
How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light.
Oh, so they are forced to do that. Okay, I thought that it was not me thinking, oh, this place costs a lot. What if I were to close this window to have it like cost less? Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Nutsmith's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little dig, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price.
Because the room is so awful, I should think.
Apparently Mr. Nutsmith only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that is correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is a little relevancy. A matter of not worthy of further attention. Well, I am pretty damn curious. Oh, I believe I told you all I can. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes. Miss Naruto. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, did you? Would you perhaps be offering your service in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Nutsmith, was it? You bet your ass! I'm not sure. Nah. What Ryonosuke is trying to say is that you bet your ass! Not sure. On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized. And so promptly, too. Well, we did win, but we didn't really tell you that we actually won on that case. You must know some stuff about this case, don't you? And the thing is, it's really made up me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes. Trust. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Matsman didn't do it, did he? Okay, well, something tells me that this is going to be one of those moments where Sholmes is actually going to have to be serious about this. Like the one time where he doesn't goof off. Like, he has to be careful about what he says right over here. Because he goofs off, but I do believe that he cares. So he has to be careful on how to talk to Ryonosuke over here in order for Ryonosuke to move on. My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh. But I thought that's why you were here. Did you come back to investigate? Ah, yes. That was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. No, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room. And there are witnesses who swear to have seen me. There are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing.
Oh? What is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us.
I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case. But I am quite sure that a retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Guard, that is? Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case.
Miss Narodon. As yet, our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence.
Like, I'm thinking right over here. Like, maybe Sholmes dodged a bullet right over here. Cause if he were to say straight ahead that, oh, he believes that that Natsume is innocent, then this wouldn't really help Ryonosuke that much because, well, Ryonosuke himself has to determine that. Because if you were to get that answer from Herlock Sholmes, well, I guess it kind of depends. Like, for someone like me, I would trust that he's saying that he is innocent because Herlock Sholmes is pretty much like godly in terms of investigations. So if you were to get that kind of answer from Sholmes, then it would certainly make you give in less effort in trying to understand yourself that Natsume is innocent, and you're just taking the opinion at face value from Sholmes over here. Ryonosuke has to think about that stuff himself. But I was thinking that maybe Sholmes would be able to push Ryonosuke a little further in that, to motivate him a little bit, to have him gain his spirits a little bit. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Veridep's secret. Yep. I agree with that. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the Landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. And I wish you every success, of course, Miss Naruto. I just think that what the Sholmes is doing right over here is that he does know what that secret is. He has figured it out. And he's pushing that secret onto Ryonosuke for himself to figure it out. And once we figure out that secret, it will give us like more proof that Natsume is innocent. So Sholmes does know that, like, Sholmes does think that Soseki is innocent. It's just that Ryonosuke needs to reach that conclusion himself as well. Instead of Sholmes telling him straight ahead what that secret is what I think over here. Because if Sholmes truly didn't think of that secret as relevant, then he wouldn't have told Rudnonosuke about it. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Okay then. In which case, can we go back to Mr. Garridad's room and talk about some stuff, maybe? Ah, you Peter again. Tell me, was the detective chap? I forget his name. Still hard at work down there.
Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
Oh yes, rings a big bell. All the detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is... well, he's in his element down there. Jolly good show. A cup of tea, if you please, John. Now then, why don't you tell me... Damn, give time, woman. Will you watch what you're bloody well doing?
I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir.
Hmm? Yeah, of course. Frightfully rude of me. But I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave. If you be so kind.
Yes, of course. We're deeply grateful for all your assistance.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out.
According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrideb is hiding something. And since no other avenues of investigation seems open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging.
Some digging. Is there like anything new around here that we can? Well, there is something here. Are those mortar shells? They're ginormous.
Ah, I hadn't noticed. What are they doing there?
Ah, those old things? Couple of rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know. Became a bit colorful regiment folklore, that incident. You mean you deliberately turned it out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately exactly. They're only scrap iron after all. Usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you? To trick people into thinking that he's actually gonna shoot that cannon with a mortar shell. Useful for what exactly? Yes, well... John here did manage to knock one of the belly things on my foot the other day while she was dusting.
Oh no.
And shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know. Maybe reconsider throwing them away. There is some stuff around here that I haven't actually looked at. That portrait of Mr. Garrideb is glaring at me, I swear.
Have you noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garrideb as well?
Yeah, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Ah, yes. Seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? That chap who runs the place is a belly wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing. A wizard! In point of fact, I think about it. I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need.
The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements.
Sato-san doesn't pull her punches. Or for throws, for that matter. Oh, Sholmes! What are you doing? Looking out the window just like that? Okay. Oh, what's he doing over here?
Mr. Sholmes?
Aha! We met again, my dear fellows! Hey, it has been such a long time. Like, 10 minutes or so. Good gracious. When did you sneak in here?
Herlock Sholmes, at your service. Whatever were you doing over there by the window?
I'm given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madame.
Yet sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture of such observation.
Like, one day I am waiting for us to see Sholmes, like, up. Like Spider-Man and such. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. I would actually be a little bit surprised that the game is actually giving us the option. Like, you know how we have to press buttons in order to look to the right or to the left? What if it gives us the option to look up? And I would ask myself, wait, look up? Oh, this is new. Let me just look up. Oh, there you go. There is Sholmes.
So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window here.
Well, keeping an eye to one's window at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering.
Ah. And what other thing, Mr. Noby?
Oh, me?
I thought perhaps you might be in need of certain great detectives. Great mind.
Well, I was thinking that maybe we could do this ourselves. Figure out the secret ourselves. Wait, isn't it talking about... I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Well, soon as in... like after a month. You were probably excited to have like a dance of deduction, like one day. Like, now it's finally your time. I don't know this game once again.
Do you mean Mr. Sholmes? There is a mighty secret in this modest room. May I see even the most trivial of trifles?
I take it you're prepared, Miss Noby. I think so. Like, I'm not hearing you, Ronosuke. You don't sound confident enough. Say it! I think so.
There's just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark.
Okay. Okay, let's see.
Mr. Gardeep, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate.
Hmm?
I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements.
I beg your pardon?
The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care.
Ooh, a ferocious beast? Ugh.
The second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you.
Oh,
Snardo, look!
The old man's broken out in cold sweat. I do wonder if this is, 'cause of a particular cat. I mean, not the cat that we've known a long time ago, but a completely different cat. Imagine if our lovely cat from Mrs. Beauty came back. 'Cause I've been asking, where the fuck is, where the fuck is she? Unbelievable. It seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on.
How could you possibly?
How could I possibly know?
You mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts.
Roar.
I only know too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed.